Sarnia, I'm Katie Horvath. This is called Into the City. I'm here today with Graham Pedregosa. He's looking for a seat for a city and county councillor position in the upcoming 2018 Sarnia municipal election. Graham, thanks for chatting with me today.
Thanks for coming by. You're actually here in my office space here in our lobby, so I really appreciate you coming down today.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So I've had a chance to chat with you a little bit about what you do here in Sarnia, but for those who haven't, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm basically, for all y'all watching, my name's Graham Pedregosa. I'm born and raised here in Sarnia, Ontario. I lived in the High Park neighborhood. I am one of the co-founders of Tomorrow Incorporated, formerly known as, it used to be called Tomorrow Media and Creative Marketing. We're a marketing firm right out that started with 5 20-year-old guys in a bachelor apartment a few years ago, and we've now in the historic 140 Christina Street here, and we're having a really successful business. We do print, we do branding, we do creative marketing, and it was something it was a business that we started and said this is an opportunity for us to have a livelihood and to stay in Sarnia and stay with our families, and it's not gone really well. That's what I do. I'm part of the print part of the company where we do all the printing and stuff. So yeah. Excellent.
That's great. So why did you decide this year to run for a seat for City and County Council?
I think when I ran, I looked at a couple of things. I said, well, we have to look at the leadership of our city, and what do we want to see? What do I want to see, and what I think people want to see during the next council election? And I think one of the key things is that why should I run for city council is that there should be how do you say this again? We should have a responsive council, a council that can reflect not only just one demographic, but business owners, someone young youth, young families and stuff like that. And for someone who I just I'm now a business owner, just finished school, had some experience with running a non-for-profit and owning a business, I said, I have the time to run for city council. And running for city council does take a lot of time, I think. I believe someone who wants to run for city council, someone told me, oh, city council is a part-time job. I really don't believe that. I really think a city councilor is someone who wants to take this as a full-time job, be able to make the meetings at 9 a.m., be able to make the meetings at 6 p.m. on Mondays every 2 weeks, the ones to make the committee meetings, and then as well have not only just hourly office hours, but be able to be accessible to the public, at your coffee shops or walking down the street. And with the time that I have in Sarnia, I said, well, I make my own hours in my business, and I don't have family with I don't have a wife, or I go home to to my my family, but I also have time to be able to put the time in for the city, and I think that's a lot. I think time is the most valuable resource, and if we need time for being able to making sure that we have time for contributing to our city at a council level, I think that's important. So yeah.
Great. And what is it about you that you believe would make you a good representative for the people of Sarnia?
Well, I think it's just the energy and the energy and the attitude that you want to bring, that you want to have as a city councillor in Sarnia. I'm ready to work for you guys, and we're ready to be able to, put my foot down on the pavement and be able to represent the concerns and issues that you have to bring up to the city. Our campaign, we were the first ones to start knocking on doors. We had a whole bunch of donations to help get about 35,000 to 40,000 brochures. We've been knocking on doors every weekend, and yes, it's been fun. My young legs are getting a little bit of a workout. We're going up and downstairs, meeting people. I'm meeting a lot of people from the north end to the south end, to Brights Grove, to Mitten Village, to downtown. It's been a fantastic reception, and I think that you kind of see your city councilors kind of every 4 years. You kind of see them at the door every 4 years. We need city councilors that be able to. You can see them all throughout the terms, and I think with the perspective and the time that I have, I'll be able to reach out to not only residents during this election season, but be a councillor that will be able to reach out throughout the 4 years of elected. So yeah.
Great. So at this point in the interview, I'd like to get kind of some of your reflections on the current council, so the 2014 to present term. So just in general, could you comment on the council of the day and maybe some things that they did positively, maybe some things that you would have handled differently?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I really enjoyed from this council is that it reflected a lot of different perspectives on in our city. We had young, we had very experienced, and we had a lot of people, men and women, very equal sides, and they were able to pass through a number of projects. London Road is wonderful right now, and they're looking to revitalize Canterra. I see the reports that they have, and revitalizing Centennial, and they put a lot of effort into really pushing through a council, and people have said, oh, it's been divisive. I've seen a lot of work done, and I think it's just through every council in every council meeting. A lot of these councillors have to approve budgets, budget lines, and RFP requests and all that, and they still got through. I think, as long, with them having a quorum and them being there and being able to debate things, they were able to get things done, and that's important. So I think I see that. From what I would do differently, I think, from my perspective, I think it's an attitude and energy. I think we have a lot of people that are trying, not any particular, but everyone kind of has their own opinions and their own sides.
Right.
And I think there shouldn't be that. I think as a city councilor, you're not tied to a political party. You're not tied to a like a certain ideology or anything like that. With municipal politics, and what I believe in municipal politics is that really it comes down to like your local issues and coming down to the doors and being able to, there's been a giant road, like pothole in my road for a while. What's going on with that? A city councilor should be able to go down there and take a look at it and be like, okay, we maybe need to have to call Public Works, and you're not getting a hold of the city. And get a hold of the city. A city councilor would be able to push that towards, into the city administration. I think we need a city councilor that's responsive. Like I said, I want to be as more responsive as most, not just only on a Facebook group or a Facebook, but be able to have my phone at the ready at all times for any issues or anything like that. So that's what I really want to. I think that I would have done. And that's what I think. So,
okay,
yeah.
Great. So you did mention Centennial, and again, there's been a lot of work that's done there. A lot of stuff was buried there for a very long time. A lot of environmental issues that this council had to deal with. But on that flip side, there was, of course, criticism for a boiler budget. So my question to you is, when a project that you're handling on City Council does start to approach kind of hitting that mark that you guys agree upon, what would you do, or what could you do to kind of rein that spending in, or is it just something that happens?
No doubt about it. It's things happen, and mistakes can be made, and a certain environmental issue wasn't addressed at the final report, and now it has to go over budget, and that's just all project management. But at the same time, you need to be able to communicate that to residents, and I think that we kind of missed the ball on that. I think we need to be, if something does go over budget, I think we need our city councilors to be accountable to residents and apologize. I'm sorry. I think saying sorry and being able to, this is the situation that's happened. There was a situation that, we have to communicate with this, what the city does. And if you really want to work together, if the city tells you there's, the city staff tells you there's a lot more that goes on, how do you find a resolution and find a compromise to the situation so everything's still good? Two, how do you communicate that to the public? Like, we do need to apologize because we are spending their money, and we need to respect the taxpayer at the same time. I fully believe Sarnia is, very capable of understanding, issues and problems, but we need to tell them. If you don't tell the citizens, if there's a mistake or a project, then there isn't really, this is when people get upset. Is council really representing who I am? Is council really representing two sides and stuff like that? And I think with Centennial, I really see much more development at Centennial. A Centennial Park that I can, you can take families out to, enjoy having ice cream, or to buy souvenirs or gifts, or have a meal out there, or have a coffee on Centennial Park. I think those are really interesting ways to redevelop and continue to build Centennial Park up. And I think that it's really important that, moving forward, we have a lot of infrastructure projects coming forward. We have a lot of things that, we won't know the cost until you dig it up and figure out what's going on. and you need to be very clear with that to the public. So, yeah.
I think that's a great point too about the communication back to the public. So as you know, there has been some moves in that direction. They started with the smart surveys, they've done some of the public input sessions. Do you have any ideas as to kind of continue with that line of thinking and better communication?
100%.
Meeting somebody in the
Yeah, for sure, yeah. No, 100%. A lot of people can't make public consultation meetings. You know, sometimes a lot of people work. A lot of people work from 9 to 5, and they have to cook meals for their kids, and they can't be able to make some public consultation meetings that happen at City Hall.
Right.
And if you look at a regular day of someone who lives in Sarnia, you know, politics is kind of the last thing on their mind until they open up Facebook or they open up the newspaper at the end of the day or in the morning. And if you really have an issue or a consultation, there needs to be some sort of application or an online form, and like be able to have that ready to the city. And I think that, you know, so something like yourself, you did vocalize, and I think that's very important. And you need to have some, you know, forms like that to be able to answer those questions to not only City Hall, like city councilors, but as well to the city admin.
Right.
Because when city admin tells me, hey, we're only doing a public consultation from 6 to 9 p.m. on a Wednesday, well, Wednesday, is that the only day we can do? Because I have a soccer game going on, and,
right.
and I you know, we have to make sure that we're available, and that's just customer service at City Hall. And how do we bring those concerns up and be able to? And at the same time, I think it's important for city councils to do walking tours during the summer or during the fall, be able to, you know, take a couple areas of the city and just say, hey, like, I'm in the area. I just want to know if everything's going all right. I think we kind of lost the people aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
And I think as a city council, you kind of have to be proactive in being you know, proactive in communicating to residents, and instead of just being on a keyboard on Facebook.
Yeah, kind of getting yourself
being
out
there in person. I firmly believe that, you know, because of technology, we're kind of losing ourselves as social interactions. But I really believe that if you can go up to the door to someone who just, you know, they're your boss, they're a voter, and they're a taxpayer. Let's talk about, like, hey, like, I'm just in the area. I'd love to see if there's any concerns or anything like that. Walking tours, things like that for councillor, because we're representing the city, like people of Sarnia, to the city issues, and I think that's important.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So that's it about the current council.
Yeah,
We'll move from that issue now. Part 3 of the interview, I like to get kind of a good read of specifically your campaign, your platform, what issues are most important to you. So we'll start with, could you just tell me in general about your campaign and the issues that you're trying to bring to
For
City
sure.
Hall?
So my campaign is really based on my slogan. It's called Build Sarnia Up, and Build Sarnia Up can also be Raise Sarnia Up, Grow Sarnia Up, and Start Sarnia Up. A lot of my platform is really, how do we get Sarnia to be a city that we can be proud of? How do we have a Sarnia that when we have projects going on, how do we build on those projects so that everyone in Sarnia can benefit? If we have to build Minton Village up, how do we build Minton Village up and be able to make that another place for commerce and culture and like what it used to be back in the day? I think a lot of people are like, well, back in my day, this used to be the best part. It's not so much again. We need to build those back up again.
Yes.
And how do you do that? Really, it's trying to figure out, who's the development? Do we have the skilled labor? Are we attracting the right people to our city? And how do you attract those people at the same time? And I think that's very important. My platform really is based on trying to be proactive as a city councillor and working with stakeholders, labor unions, the college, the district school board, you know, small business owners, franchisees that want to develop in town, and see how this can benefit Sarnia. And I think and as well as being able to lobby from the provincial and federal side. I've worked closely before with provincial and federal levels when I ran a non-for-profit at Carleton University.
What was that, by the way?
It was called the Rideau River Residents Association. I ran a $1.2 million association there. Represented 3,600 students, so I do have a little bit of know-how on how to represent people at a negotiating table. And if you want to be a negotiator at a table and be able to strike and close development deals and be able to lobby for funding and stuff like that, you have to go to the right channels in provincial government. You have to be able to talk to the assistants. You have to be able to talk to the people in the committee. You're supposed to be able to go to the federal government and ask, where's the funding that we can build for the city? And if they see someone that's ready to go and has some that brings a full point stakeholders that we bring together, from the unions, from the city, from the school, from, that's how we can be able to, be able to develop our city and attract people like that. And that's really much what you get from my platform. It's you want a proactive and energetic counselor that will be able to not only vouch for the city side, but be able to vouch for Sarnia on the county side. The counties also has senior care, it has daycare, it has the libraries. Those are things that we need to have, be able to stand up for in our town, and I think I'll be able to do that. So, yeah.
Great answer. So we spoke a little bit, or you spoke a little bit, I should say, about keeping the youth here, what we do in terms of business. So could you expand on that a little bit further? We do have a retention problem.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that issue?
Well, first of all, I stayed. I went to school. This city actually helped me build my first business in high school. It was a small t-shirt company, but then we got recognized by the Business Hall of Fame of Canada by that business, and I was able to go to university, and I got a bunch of scholarships, and this community really built me up. It really helped me with scholarships. I didn't know how to fund university back in the day other than, OSAP and loans, and thank you again, Sarnia, for helping me out, and this community has helped me out. And I said, when I finish university, a lot of people are saying, we'll never see you again. Well, why would you see me again? I love this town. It's like, well, all the jobs are in Toronto, all the jobs are in Ottawa. And I said, well, no, I'm coming back because I don't like it. And I saw a lot of my other friends in university, they haven't come back. They don't feel like coming back to Sarnia. They want to live in the big city. There's a lot of pizzazz there. But Sarnia has the exact same amount of pizzazz as long as you can be able to, as an example, as someone who was able to come back and show why Sarnia is so great. That is why, in order for us to build youth retention, we need to go out to those school boards to find the right skilled labor. We have a shortage of tradespeople here in town. A lot of people, the culture of going into the trades is not, there's a stigmatism around that. Like all kids should just go to university. Right. That shouldn't be a thing. We have to make, as a city, we have to be proactive in going to the schools, going to university graduates and being like, this is Sarnia, this is a great place. When you go to these university graduates, like job fairs for graduates, Sarnia should be show how Sarnia is great. Have a real estate agent there ready to go, ready to show what houses are ready to go. Have a district school board person there to show, we have schooling, we have, this is a great community to live in. Show them how great the beaches are, show them how great the waterfront is. I think, and then have a representative like a city councillor or someone from the city of Sarnia to welcome them. Because I think it's important to see that, oh wow, this guy from the city council came by to say hi to me and he really wants them to come to this community. Because that's an investment. If you can get young people back or to stay, and to stay, we're not even just in a retention problem. We're not even solving the retention problem. We are solving, we're going to be able to economically grow as a city. We're going to broaden the tax base. We're going to be able to plan the city, more diversely. We can have the senior homes and we can have better perks. We can have both at the same time. So it's a lot of hard work. I'm not going to say it's words, but it's putting that time in again. Like I said, it's always putting that time in. Do you need does a city councillor? And someone who's young and who can go to these colleges, these high schools that are trying to figure out trades and how to get the college to recruit young people and to keep the young people who graduate from college. How do you, that's important too. And I think if you have someone who's young and energetic and someone who's experienced and a success story from my business and why I love the city so much, we can be able to start bringing that attitude back into the city, that this is a city that we can retain our youth, this is a city that we can attract youth, and this is a city that we can attract young families too. So,
great.
Yeah.
So, if you are elected, you've already touched on this a little bit, but what could we expect personally? So not out in the other cities promoting, but what could we expect from you right here at home?
Sure. I think as someone who gets elected to city council, you'll get a city councilor that's always going to be putting the time into city affairs. A lot of people have jobs and part-time jobs and try to balance it, but I really want to treat Sarnia City Council and this city council job a job where this is a 9-to-5 job. This is a job where you can get called at 2 in the morning about something or an issue, and that's very important. And I think you need that attitude and energy to be, to have a working city council, but also someone that you know within those 4 years that you elected, that always has your back in making sure that if there is a concern over a project that the city is undertaking, there is a concern, it's somewhere that will be able to have that attitude, putting the time and the energy, and as well as the be able to compromise in opinions and stuff like that. I think it's very important that we have a city councillor that is always ready to open and available. I think that's true, and like I said, it's always trying to be responsive to residents. I touched upon it earlier. We need city councillors that do walk tours to be able to go to be visible in the community. How do you have a city councillor that's not? Why is the campaign the only time you see city councillors or something like that? We want to have city councillors that they are leaders in the community, and they should be leaders of the communities throughout those 4 years. So I think that's important, and that's what you're going to get from me if elected. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So this one, the infamous question, it's kind of what sets you apart.
Sure.
Why should I vote for you?
And I think when why you should vote for me, and when you see my name, it's you're voting for a city and county councilor. You're voting for someone who people have said about the city and county councilor that this is the retirement job. This is the job that you have the 9 a.m. meeting, you have like a couple meetings, you have committee meetings. This is the day that you move up from the city to city county. But I think from a city county, you need someone there that can be someone who's youthful, be able to ask the questions that represents young families, and be able to represent senior, like how do you work to make sure that we get senior care also in Sarnia as well, and how to represent just the infrastructure here in Sarnia with a lot of energy and someone who has experience in building associations and organizations and working with provincial and federal governments. So you're not only getting someone who's young, but you're also getting someone who's experienced, and I think and someone who will put the time in, because I think like I always go back to time, and it's and if you have someone who you're voting for, you're not voting for something. I feel like if you're voting for someone, people realize this is, okay, we're voting for someone, I hope they do something, but I guarantee that I'll put the time into making sure that I'm representing Sarnia at the county meetings, I'm representing Sarnia at the city meetings, but I'm representing people in the city meeting, but we're also going to these committee meetings all the time, and you need someone that's going to be there full time. It's tough because the public service doesn't pay a lot, and I am very passionate and just being able to be part of the community. This is the community that raised me. This is the community that I was born in. I went to school at Hyde Park, went to Northern, went to St. Clair. I graduated from Northern, but it's a city that if it wasn't for the city, I wouldn't have the opportunity to go to university. I wouldn't have the opportunity to build a business. I wouldn't have the opportunity to do that. And that's great, but contributing back and putting that time in, I think, is important as a city councilor. And I think what you get is someone people who say that this is a retirement job. This is not a retirement job. This is a full job for me, and I think that's important. So, yeah.
Great. So that's it for questions that I have for you. But I just want to give you the opportunity, if there's anything that I didn't touch on that you'd like to add in, what's your final message for the people of Sarnia?
Sure. I'll look at the camera, I guess. But, Sarnia has always been a city that I have always called home. And when I was always around, places of different, in Toronto or Ottawa or different cities and villages, everyone said to me, Sarnia, what is that? And I always had almost all the greatest things about it. We have a beautiful waterfront, we have a beautiful beach, and it's a city that, as I say before, it's a city that is great to grow up in, great to grow old in, and a great city to raise a young family. And that's a city that I've always known. And for me, if you elect me as city council, that's a city that we shall maintain. And I think that's really important for a city council to be responsive, and as well as to make sure that you're getting someone that's going to put the time in and to work really hard for you in the next 4 years. So thank you. Thank you again.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching again. This is Graham looking for a seat as a city and county councillor. If you like what Graham has to say, certainly vote for him. Polls open online October 11th through to October 22nd. Thanks for watching.
Yep, and my website is www.grahampedregosa.com, so you can check it out there too.
Perfect. Thanks again, Graham.
Thank you. Yep, appreciate it.